Hi again everyone, I won this PlayStation 1 today at auction. It came with a bunch of games and it's SCPH7502B. It also came with another PlayStation without cables, which is a 9002, SCPH9002. So I'm going to mod chip them both, but I'm just going to test now to see if they work with a backup, to see if they're already mod chipped before we go opening them up. So just testing them with Final Fantasy 9, which we know is a stealth game. So yeah, that one is not mod chipped. Right, let's check out the 9002. And again in the browser screen. So they've never been modded, or if they have been modded, they've got old anti-stealth, old mod chips that can't boot stealth games. Right, so while we're here, I'll just show you a couple of version differences. The 7502 still has the parallel port on the back. Let's pop it out here. There you go. And there's a nice new piece of hardware coming out for the PS1 soon, which will allow SD loading of ISOs through a parallel port. Unfortunately, the 9000 series, let me pop this back in, which is newer, have the port removed. Well, some of them have the port on the board, but the casing doesn't have it. So what I might do is I might swap the cases if this one's got a parallel port on the board. If not, I'll just use the 7502, but we're going to mod chip them both. So let's get on with that, back in a second. Right, so these are all the bits and pieces we need to modify the two PlayStations. We've got some scraps of Carnal wire there, we're running out, but we've got enough. We're going to use some flux, a medicine dropper to put some flux on the board, some fresh solder there. We're going to use our trusty glue gun, 30 watt soldering iron, PIC programmer to program two mod chips, and two blank 12C 508A PIC chips, which we're going to turn into Multimod 3 mod chips. Right, so the cool thing about PlayStations is they're extremely easy to disassemble. These are back before the days of hidden screws behind stickers and security screws. So we've just got 6 regular Phillips screws, 1 in each corner and 2 in the middle. So just remove them with a standard Phillips screwdriver. Right, so with your 6 screws removed, put them somewhere safe. Then the lid just lifts right off, like so. No hidden ribbon cables, nothing like that. And you can see we're exposed down to the laser unit. So now, when we're here, there's some more screws, but what we want to do first is remove the cable from the power board into the main board. So unclip it here from the main board, and unclip it from the power board as well, like so. Just give it a light tug on the cable and it'll come free. And just leave it now on the shielding under this clip, because we can't remove this clip yet. Now it's got a ribbon cable going from the controller ports here at the front to the main board, so we're going to disconnect it from the main board end. Now these old ribbon cables don't have any clips or anything. I'll show you from here. So you just pull it free of the board gently, like so. Let's bring it around to the front. We can just remove it from underneath that clip. Right, coming to this side, we've got this cable takes voltage to the laser unit, so just remove this free. Again, just a light tug, and this is a data ribbon cable going to the laser unit, to the main board. So again, just gently rock and pull this free, like so. Right, so now there's no screw securing the laser unit, it should just lift off, like so. So we'll lift it off and put it somewhere safe. Right, and again we've just got some Phillips screws on the board now. So one here, one here, one here, one here, and by this clip, one there, and that's it for those screws. So we're going to remove them. Right, so with those screws removed, the shielding should just lift free, as you can see it's doing. That little clip, will not come free yet. I haven't seen this clip before on them. That's what's keeping it in place. Lift it at an angle. There we go. So it just comes free like that. Put it somewhere safe. And you can see now we're at the main board. So we need to remove some more screws. So as you can see, there's one in the video port here, one in the serial port, 2 in the parallel port, and that's it. So it's just those 4 screws that we need to remove. So I'll remove them and come back to you. Right, so with those 4 screws removed, we should be able to lift the main board free of the case, like so. Let's just pop it here for a second, and remove the top of the case out of the way. Right, so now we're at the main board. Flip it upside down. Have a look, this is a PS1 main board. Cool. You see there it says PU22 in the middle of the board there. That's the board revision. So now upside down. So what I'm going to do now is, now I've got this completely disassembled and free, I'm going to do the same with the 9002 model and then just come back to you with the 2 PCBs. I'm not going to show you me disassembling the other one as well. So back in a second with the other one free. Here we go, PU23, Sony Computer Entertainment Inc. 1999. This is a 9002 board. If you have a look at the 7000, you see PU22, 1998, Sony Computer Entertainment Incorporated. So now we've got them both disassembled, what I'm going to do now is go program the mod chips. And if you see at the left side it's got like a little indentation. That's the way that we put it into the programmer. So I'm going to get the programmer here, 4 legs up with the divot facing the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So in at the 5th one. We place it in like that, in the socket like that, and then we, using this lever here, we lock this zip clip. So that locks the chip in place nice and tight. And then we're going to connect it with a USB to the computer. It's a USB-B, FAT-B, and program it now. So I'll come back to you in a second. I'm going to file, load. No, we don't want to save. And this time I'm going to pick the Multimode 3 European hex. As you can see here, different hex, Multimode 3, and we're going to program this. That's programming, you can see it flashing on the chipboard. Programming complete. Right, so that's the programming done. Right, so we're going to solder in the Multimode 3 chip first into the 9000 series PS1, PSX. If you saw my PS1 video, you saw me tin the legs of the chips, and I'm going to do that again, just by heating the leg, bringing solder to it. This just makes soldering the wires to the chip a lot easier. So you can see that's one side filled with solder. So the other set of legs. Right, so that's all the legs filled with solder, nice and quick. Right, so I'll just show you me soldering on the first wire, and I'll come back to you once I've got them all soldered on. Right, so we heat one of those legs that we just filled with solder, so the solder flows again. Like so, and then we bring the wire to the leg, like so, and you can see that wire soldered on now. What I'm going to do is repeat it for all the rest and come back to you once I've got this chip fully soldered, all the wires fully soldered on. Glue it in place. Tiny bit of glue down there. Put the chip down, like so. Right, so that's the chip glued in place like that. Now we're just going to solder the wires in how they need to go. So the chip legs are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 8 first. 8 goes to this point here, the middle dot out of those 3 dots. Right, we're going to bare that wire and solder it in place now. So let's just put some fresh solder on the point. We're not going to bother with flux. So heat the point, bring solder to it, like so. Bring the wire to the point. Right, so as you can see, we're ready to solder that one in now. So let's just be able to heat the point. It should just go in nice and easy. Right, so that's the first wire in. You see that point in there? Nice glob of solder. Nice glob of solder there. Like that, so that's wire 8 in. Let's go on to the next one. brought it from the chip leg and I'm coming under these legs here of this chip. Just getting it nice, neat and tidy. Can come a bit more, like so, and then we'll just bear it and it'll solder onto that point there. And that's it soldered in. So I'll show you that now. Got 8 coming there, we've got 7 coming up the chip legs onto the point we're after. So next wire next. Wire 6 is coming to the right hand side of this resistor. Let me try and point it out. This one here, right hand side of it. So we're going to shorten the wire again, very short, and solder it in there. Right, we had a bit of an incident. While bearing the wire, we pulled too hard and we pulled the leg of leg 6 off. Let's try and get more light so you can see. Yeah, the leg of leg 6 is now gone, but as you can see there's a tiny bit at the top that we can still solder to. So we're going to solder it onto the resistor and then solder the other end onto the remaining part of leg 6. Right, so that's leg 6 soldered back on. Now let's solder the other end to this resistor. Right, I'll show you that now. So 6 is soldered back onto the top of the remainder of the leg, and the other end is soldered onto the right hand side of the resistor, like so. We will glue all these points once we're done. Quite tricky to solder onto these small resistor legs. Right, moving on. On that dot, like so, and then bring a number 5 wire in, solder it in place, like so. So there you can see, number 5 shortened, soldered in. One is coming to this quite bottom point here. So I'm going to shorten the wire and move it around. Like so. One goes up, under, around, down, and in place. So let's do the next 3. So looking at the install diagram, there is no wire 2. So let's take off wire 2. And I thought there was one extra, but I wasn't sure which. That's wire 2 removed. I was recording then and I wasn't. So you missed me soldering in point 3. Let me just show you. And it was really difficult as well. So let me just show you it. It's the middle resistor. We got it in there, so coming that way. Well, wire 4 is the middle point in between those resistors there. So where we've brought the wire, I'll show you. Up from there, along, under the open close switch, under these chip legs, up those chip legs, under those chip legs, in between those 2 resistors, and to that middle point. So we're going to solder that in now. Right, so I just want to put some fresh solder on the point. So let's heat it, fill it with some fresh solder. And that's it soldered in. That's it in there. Right, so follow that back, under there, under there, across to there. So let me take off this lens cap now. You can see the full install. Very tidy install. So next step now, we'll just heat up our glue gun and glue all the points. So tiny amount of glue, that'll do it. So that's point 1 glued. Next we'll do point 8, the way you can see it. Tiny amount of glue. You can see. Next we're going to do 0.6 to resist the leg. Tiny amount of glue. And next we'll do 0.5 here. Tiny amount of glue. So do 3 first. Tiny amount of glue on those resistors. Then 1. That's 7 actually, isn't it? And then this one all the way to the other end of the board. Tiny amount of glue. Right, so that's all the points glued. Let's come out with the camera. So, glue on 6, glue on 8, glue on 7, glue on 3, glue on 1, glue on 5, glue on 4. So I'm going to put it back in its case and then glue those points there. Just make sure they're not bridging anything, and then I'll put a tiny bit of glue on them as well. Right, so this is our base. Let's put our main board back in it. Like so. So that pegged nicely. Let's pop in the main board screws. You see a bit there. So I'm just going to put glue on all the top legs, like so. Glue on all the bottom legs, like so. Just like that. I know it looks messy, but we don't really care as long as it's insulated. So it just insulates all those points. Right, let's get the shielding back. Place the shielding back, lift up the ribbon. Right, line it up. Put the back and line it up as well. Come the back and that's all lined up. That's all lined up. Yep, mod chip sits there. Better put the ribbon in and everything. We'll just put the screws back in that now. Right, so that's the 4 shielding screws replaced. Now what I want to do is fold this ribbon cable back under this clip like so. Like that. And then just clip it into the board. This connects the memory card slots and the controller ports to the main board. Then we turn the main board power cable. Like so. And the other end to the power board. Like so, that supplies the board with power. Next we want to replace the laser unit. Let me go retrieve it. So we just put it back over these legs that stand up for it. Like so. Return its power cable to the main board where it draws voltage. And return its data cable, ribbon cable, to the main board. Right, next we need to put its lid on. Right, so the lid just slots back on. Line it up correctly. Check the back, make sure it's all lined up, which it is. Turn it upside down. And we just need to return the 6 case screws now. Right, so that's our SCPH 9002 reassembled. It's a 9002 model with no parallel port. So let's move this guy out of the way and we'll grab our 7502 board. Right, so now we want to work on the 7502B board. It's a bit more awkward though, this board. It's got this like heat shield in here, which is soldered down with lots of solder in multiple parts on the board. And if you look at the install diagram, we basically need to get underneath this. So we need to heat it and pry it up. I don't actually have any desoldered braid at the minute, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to try and do it. So basically we're going to heat I'm going to apply pressure underneath and heat a bit of the solder, and it's old so it's not melting. I wish I had some bread. So melting. There we go, so that's that one free. Basically, I'm just going to repeat that now, so I've done it on them all. Right, it's come free now. So I'll show you. This is a like heat shield, heat spreader type thing on all the chips. We've managed to get out. Now we've got access to the main board where we're going to do our soldering work. So I'm just going to move that shielding out of the way for now. Right. So first things first, what I want to do is wire up the mod chip. Right, so that's this chip wired up, as you can see. For chip positioning on this one, I'm thinking about placing it on top of this chip here. I'll just show you when when this goes back on, when I resolder this in, it's upside down. As you can see there's enough room for it to sit on that chip. I was going to put it in the middle here, but nearly all the solder points are sort of around this chip, so this chip's probably the best place to go, except for the long 4 wire again, which is over to here. Right, so I'm going to glue it down on that chip now. Just while my glue gun's heating up, I just realised again that there's no 2 wire, so I'm just going to remove the 2 wire from that chip now. Can you see this? I'm going to put a tiny drop on there and stick the tip on like that. You don't want too much. Right, so let's put some fresh solder on the point we're soldering to. Move the wire out a second. Right, that's the first wire in. You can see that, I'm just throwing it under those chip legs and under the switch. Just keeps it all, the wire management nice and tidy. Just keep threading it through. There we go. Solder in the cable. Right, that's that cable in, nice and tidy. So now wire 4 coming from there, comes along, under that switch, under that chip, through those capacitors, and soldered in place there on the point. Right, so as you can see 5, it leaves the chip, comes under those legs, around the corner, under those legs there, and it's going to come to that point. You see, that's in. Now it's got some fresh solder. Let's solder the cable in. Right, let's put 6 in. It's a nice point. I'm going to do 3 underneath those wires now, because if I leave it any longer it's going to be even harder to do. Right, what we're going to have to do is, because point 3 is the point in between 5 and 6. These wires 5 and 6, but on the board. So what I'm going to do is just take off the wires 5 and 6 from the chip temporarily, solder in 3, and then solder them back on. You can do it with just 5 up. Let's take up 6 as well. I'll bend 6 this way. Let's put some solder on the point. Right, that's 0.3 in, as you can see. It's just tricky to do. So now I'm going to put 5 and 6 back in, bend the legs down and put them back in. Now we've got 3 in. Alright, so that's 6 back in. Right, so that's 5 and 6 going back in, with 3 going underneath them. Get to it quite easy. Just took the pin or 2 out. Right, so that's 7 in there, that looping wire. Loops from there. Comes down to the point on the board there. So let's put 8 in, which is our last wire. The one that says CL706, that's the one we're going to. Nice fresh solder. There we go. Let's have a look. There's 0.8 in there. So that's installed done. Just need to reassemble now. Right, so before we reassemble, I just want to glue all the points. So start with the chip. Spread it out a bit. This side. Just insulates it. And then we'll do all the points. So 0.8 first. So up at the top, 2.1. Point 1 in. Down here we'll do 5 and 6. 6 first. Then 5. We'll do 4 right up at this top corner. And yeah, we can get in. We'll get 7. 7 in. And I think we can get 3. We'll try. Right. So that's all the points glued. So with gluing all those legs as well, we've let's put this on. With gluing all the legs, we've insulated the chip, so we should be able to just stick this heat shield back into place, like so. Just set it on in place, line it up, and then we're just going to solder all those points back in. Let's check everything's lined up nicely, which it is. Let's start with this top one. Can we see this? Get it to an angle we can see better. Right, so basically just melting the solder on the board and soldering the heat shield back into it. Like that's the first one in. Let's go for this one. That's that one in. Right, so that's the heat spreader back in, and we've got it soldered. Get the thingy. We've got it soldered on every point that it was soldered into before. There, two in the middle, that one and that one. So they're all soldered back on. Right, so put the base down first. Check the back to make sure you're lined up flush, which we are. See those little arrows? They indicate where a screw goes. So you can see there's 4 we've got to put in there now, so I'll just pop them in now. Alright, so that's them 4 screws in, 2 on the parallel port, 1 on the serial and 1 on the video. So now we'll put the shielding back on. Connect our ribbon to the power board and the main board, the power cable, and then the ribbon from the controller ports fold under the clip and pop into the main board, like so. Turn it around the back, make sure it's all sitting flush, which it is. So we're going to stick our screws in this before we go any further. Again, there's little arrows indicating where it screw in. Right, so that's all those screws in. Next step, we want to stick in the laser unit. Just line it up over these little like pegs that go into the rubber stoppers. Line it up, and then plug in this ribbon into the board, the data cable for the laser unit, and then the power cable for the laser unit. Just pop the lid on the top like so. Make sure it's sitting right all the way around. Pop in our back for our parallel port. So, turn it upside down, and let's pop in the last 6 screws. Right, so that's SCPH 7502B modded and reassembled. So I'm just going to clean up all this and then we'll test it. Right, so let's test our SCPH 9002. We've put it in Final Fantasy IX NTSC, which is a stealth backup of course. So let's give it a go, see what we get. British straight away, Sony Computer Entertainment America, but SCE again. And we'll just let it go into the game a couple of seconds. Square Enix USA. Right, so the SCPH 9002 is working. Now let's go work on our SCPH 7502B. So let's pop this guy off. Love that game. Right, let's go work on our other one. Right, so we're fully reassembled, we've cleared away. Let's give this guy a test. This is our 7502B PS1 with a parallel port on the back. So let's give it a shot. Power it up. It would help if I put a game in it, wouldn't it? Final Fantasy IX NTSC, let's give it a shot. Let's cold boot it. Right, so let's give this a test now. Our 7502B PS1. Right, straight booting. Right, so that's another couple of successful modifications. We've got our parallel port PS1 working. We've got our non-parallel port PS2, PS1 stealth booting, SCPH 9002. This one now is going to replace this PS1 that I stealth modded. I'm going to use this one because it's got the parallel port for a specific reason. Let me show you, let me find it. Right, this is coming out soon, hopefully this year. It's called PSIO, which means input output. And basically these are the prototype boards. You can see the parallel port pins there. They haven't been populated yet. But what it is it's going to plug into the back of your PS1 into the parallel port, and you'll be able to boot games from and a homebrew from the SD card. So that's why my 750B PS1 is now going to be my main PS1. It only cost me £6. I got it yesterday, I can't believe it. Right, so that's another successful modification. If you enjoyed this video, please rate and subscribe, and join us next time when we do something else cool. So see you later, everybody.